Hi, this is Seth Welling. I'd like to talk to you about my film I'm making for work. I work in a non-profit. We work with people who have developmental disabilities like mine, cerebral palsy, just whatever the clients have. And I also, as part of my job, I work with this group called the Self-Advocates. Self-advocacy is a movement about people with developmental disabilities becoming more independent in the world around them. It was basically started in 1985 in Alabama by people coming out of institutions needing apartments and jobs and friends and where to shop and the whole shebang. But my group is more interested in transportation, for one, because the bus only runs on the weekdays. It's very hard for them to be independent when they don't have a good public transportation system, because most of them don't drive because either they were never taught how to drive or they just can't. Well, one thing with the self-advocates, the state group, and the agencies in New Hampshire where I live, tasked them with shooting a new training video. The current training video they're using is about 30 years old. It doesn't showcase the way things are today, and they need to update it so the new hires get a handle on today's issues. I am shooting this project for them because none of the clients have the video equipment. I have video equipment and I have the experience and I know their perspective. I don't necessarily always have the same perspective as they do. There are a lot of similarities. Originally, the agencies wanted a training video, but I think they're better served by having a mini documentary spotlighting their accomplishments, where they've been, where they're going, because that way the new hires or anyone who sees that will be more inspired to work with these people who I spend my days with, laughing. It's a lot of fun. And new hires need to know where the staff comes in to help the clients, because one thing I hate is special people, the labels. I was a special person. I was in special ed. I didn't go there, but I was in the program. And people are mostly the same. These special people are just like you. They know what's out there for them, and they know where they are and where everybody else, seemingly everyone else, is. And they need help bridging that gap. But it's not like our needs are any different from yours, because at one time you had the same needs. You didn't know how to drive a car. You didn't know how to cross the street or how to act on the subway. So these things that they need to know are the same things that we all need to know. And that's all about becoming independent, becoming safer in our community, and more outspoken in a positive way, hopefully. As part of that, I'm also filming myself, filming them, because as a person with a disability, I feel the need to showcase that I share their goals. I'm not putting anything on them. I'm not saying you will say this and you will be happy. I want to know what they have to say as much as the intended audience. And it's important for me to show that I have a disability too, just for the idea that people with disabilities can shoot a film. People with disabilities can star in a film. People with disabilities can have jobs that everyone else wants, or they can have girlfriends or boyfriends and be married, or have a nice car. It's all the same. Because when I was at Dartmouth, my whole raison d'etre was about disabilities in film, because people with disabilities never really had a voice in film. They were always seen as a happy bumpkin, like Forrest Gump. Oh, life is like a box of chocolates or whatever. And it's just superficial, because people are more complex than that. People are better than that. Sort of like a one-dimensional character to me. And I actually hate the film. Because so what? Someone bumbles through history and it doesn't define me. And if it doesn't define me, it doesn't define other people. Or they can be the troubled person who needs to be saved by the well-meaning, non-disabled person, like Hunchback, you understand? Well, if you saw the Disney movie, he never gets Esmeralda because she's not good enough for Esmeralda. That's crap. That's not the lesson I would want people to glean from that film, even though it's there. It's just like people with disabilities. They haven't come all that much further than the Miracle Worker. The Miracle Worker, where she's just going through a field like some insane monster robot. That's not. Even if they're doing something that you don't understand, it's not good to put someone in that box where they're just an insane child, perpetual child. They're not a child, they're a person, and obviously she can learn. People with disabilities almost never have the power to say what parts they'd like to be. They're always, that perpetual child or something. They're dupe, the stooge, like in 300, easily tricked by a vixen or something. I hate that movie too. And it's just, sometimes it's true, but sometimes it's true of everyone. Everyone's been tricked, they're duped. Everyone has been seen as an out-of-control child and not have to wear that judgment forever. This is why it's important for me to film myself, because they are telling me what they want to say. Like I said before, I'm not telling them anything except for, talk about this subject. How do you feel? I don't know how they feel. I don't know what they want to say. I just want to give something that's truthful and real. Oh, I filmed a little bit of the building while I was shooting, before I was shooting my interviews with the clients. I call them the clients because they're employing me. They have power over whom they like to work with. And if they choose me, I'm honored that they would choose me. This office building that I was shooting, it used to be an asylum. As you will see at home, I show what makes it an asylum. Still today. It's an office building now. I filmed it because it represents an interesting historical juxtaposition. I didn't film it to say anything bad about my work. I just wanted to kind of remind people that people who went to the asylum were stripped of their voices and probably never heard from again. Like your parents would send you off and then no one would hear about you forever. And that was then. Now in the same place, people with disabilities are encouraged to use their voices to freely express their thoughts and feelings without fear of punishment, because punishment was a big part of being in the asylum. Or this is what I'm hearing from them, the people who are actually in the state school. Not this asylum, but a state school that was like it. And I just wanted to film it because this is how far we've come in half a century. This is good. It's good progress. We are now treating people, as valuable members of society, of the same society as non-disabled people. Not a separate is equal, but inclusive society. And I think we're doing a good job. I think we'll do a better job in the years to come. That's why I'm doing this. Good morning. This is me doing a video for work. Here's my setup. I got my Canon 6D on the tripod here. Right, I'm gonna put the lights on. But let's see the backlight. And so this looks much better in camera than it does on my actual camera. And this is the old asylum that used to house people with disabilities. And you can tell it's an asylum former asylum because see how thick the door casing is, how small it is. That's to keep people from being able to look out. People can't look out. And the reason why I'm showing you this is I want you to know that we're just using the building for a positive purpose now. Instead of we're housing people. We're helping them. Pardon for dry mouth, but this is what it was like maybe 50 years ago. Yes, I just got done recording for today and it was very successful. I haven't had been able to film recently because it takes time to set up and reserve a room and whatever, but it's been a very successful day and I think we got lots of good footage for the video and I'm very happy and I get to go back to the meeting now.